We didn't have that opportunity. Our ancestors didn't have it, but they did the best, with
Yes.
what they had.
Yes.
And guess what? It has worked.
It has worked.
It has worked. No just think about coming from parents or ancestors with absolutely no education, none whatsoever, and how today we are making progress.
Yes.
This is Miss Lizzie, and I want to welcome you to the Queen Lizzie podcast. Together, we will go through the history of Rosewood, Florida, and watch as the once prosperous town rises out of the bloodshed, fire, and ash to reveal the people, the memory, and the legacy of Rosewood. Watch every Thursday on Facebook and YouTube, or listen to our story on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Hello, everybody. I am Lizzie Robinson Jenkins, representing not only the Rosewood Foundation, but the personal testimonies and history of cherished friends and family. You are now watching the Queen Lizzie podcast. Today, we are talking with Porshe Chiles. Welcome, Porshe,
Thank you so much, Miss Lizzie.
to the Queen Lizzie podcast.
Thank you, Queen Lizzie.
It's a pleasure, it's an honor to invite you. Okay?
It's an honor to be here with you.
Okay. Well, then we are all honored today. But Porsche is going to talk to us about the
Education Equalizer Foundation.
Okay, well, I will let you tell us, introduce it to us, and tell us your goals or whatever you want to share with us.
Thank you.
At this time.
So the Education Equalizer Foundation is a nonprofit organization out of Gainesville, Florida. And the purpose and goal is to help students not only navigate but matriculate from high school to college. Our goal is to identify schools that students are interested in and support them everything from identifying schools, filling out and completing their FAFSA, and then getting into colleges of their choice. And after that, hopefully graduation. And so we are there every step of the way, starting from middle school. Yes.
Okay. Is this for Alachua County students only?
No. We are open and willing to help any student in Florida. We're based out of Alachua County, but we have folks that are coming from the Miami-Dade County area, and up to Jacksonville. And so we are really open to just helping students, be it in person or virtually.
And it's a very successful program. I have been following you.
Yes. I have to give, of course, shout out to our founder, Dr. Carjamin Scott. She has done an amazing job of leading our team and identifying students within the areas within Florida altogether and identifying their needs and working within the school systems and with private and nonprofit partners to make sure we reach those goals.
How long have you been doing this? Is it new or 10 years ago?
Under 10 years, around 4 years.
4 years.
And so I found out about the organization. I am a transplant to Florida from Dallas, Texas. But my background has been in higher education. I've worked as an instructor, administrator for over 13 plus years. And so when moving here, wanted to identify organizations that were similar to the work I was doing before and found out about the Education Equalizer Foundation in 2022. And so I've been with the organization since 2022 and have been able to help well over 40 plus students, not only, again, identify institutions, but matriculate into college.
And I appreciate it. I thank you. And I'm proud that you all are doing, making it easier for graduates, students out of high school. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yes.
Also, I'm also proud of Gainesville because there are so many nonprofit organizations.
Yes.
Okay, in Gainesville, the Mirror Image. Is it Mirror Image?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 100 Black Men,
Mm-hmm.
the Omega Psi Phi, Phi Beta Sigma. All of these organizations are helping kids matriculate through college. And when I was growing up many years ago, we didn't have the opportunity. Mm-hmm. We didn't have the resources. Mm-hmm. But today, it's different.
Yes.
It's different, and I'm proud. And that's why I invited you to be on my show so that you can let the community know, okay, where they can reach out or to whom they can reach out to for extra help.
Yes.
Yes.
It's in that same spirit that we recognize that many of our ancestors did not have the opportunity or were denied opportunities to pursue education. And so we see the value in educating not only our students in the very traditional academic source, but also in other things, the soft skills, communications,
Yes.
how to adult, right? A lot of those skills are lost these days. I remember being a child and learning how to cook and clean.
Yes.
But a lot of our students, when they get to college, they struggle with those things. And so we want to be sure we are looking into supporting the holistic student and not just parts. And that includes their parents and siblings as well. Because so many times when students go to college, they're not going by themselves, right? We know they're bringing their families and along with them and for the ride. And so we really want to be sure we're supporting, again, holistically the student.
That's very important. It's very important because, like you said, years ago, we didn't have that opportunity. Our ancestors didn't have it, but they did the best, with what they had.
Yes.
And guess what? It has worked.
It has worked.
It has worked. Just think about coming from parents or ancestors with absolutely no education, none whatsoever, and how today we are making progress.
Yes.
Moving the agenda forward.
Yes.
And it's because of people like you and organizations like your organization that we appreciate. You may not always hear it directly from us, but I am glad I'm out there and I know what's going on. And I'd like to say to my audience out there, we appreciate you and other organizations because I think Mirror Image Academy, Leadership Academy, just returned from Ghana. Awesome. Here I am. They are ninth graders. I believe they are ninth graders going to Ghana, to Africa. I've never been there, but I'm proud for the advantage that given them that they were able to go. Had a wonderful time. I followed them on Facebook and the website. Yeah.
What you shared earlier is really my story. So my grandparents were farmers and farmed in Louisiana and in Texas. That was what they did. That's what they knew. But my paternal grandfather was uneducated. He did not go to school, illiterate, could not read and write. And so it is very interesting for me to see in two short generations, my father and then myself, my mother, my father, and then myself, how we've been able to achieve educational standards. I mentioned I moved here, relocated, but I relocated because I'm getting a fully funded PhD and in my last year. And so to know that my grandfather, who was a farmer, who knew the land, my grandparents, both sides that knew the land, but weren't able to get education. And now here I am getting a PhD studying agriculture as a means of keeping that work and that legacy alive. That's why this organization was so important to me, because I could see historically in my life the impact that education had on me and how it would allowed me to pursue so many things. I've lived abroad, I've traveled to several places, and so that was really important for me to find opportunities to give back, and the Education Equalizer Foundation gives me just that opportunity.
Exactly. And don't ever say they were not educated. They were educated.
They were.
They just didn't have a degree.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Common sense, knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, we don't have that these days.
We don't. You achieve in one and we're lacking in others.
But they were they were willing to share. Very encouraging. And I remember my dad, when I went to college, I did not want to go. I said, Dad, I love you. I don't want to leave you. He said, I love you too, but you are going to college. Get on this bus. And I traveled 4 years to St. Augustine, Florida Memorial College on a bus. But I got that education.
Yes.
Thank you, Dad. He was very forceful. When I say forceful, he didn't play. He did not play. I tried to flunk out. That didn't work. Went to summer school. Hey, it's about time, Liz, get your act together. Yeah. Education is important.
It is.
It is important, and I appreciate them. I appreciate especially our ancestors, because I like telling people my great-grandmother was born in 1826 in Parchman, Mississippi. Age 13, she was kidnapped from her parents, and just kidnapped, forced walked from Parchman, Mississippi to Jackson, Mississippi, to the auction block where they auctioned her off to James Parchman, who lived in Parchman. He was 22. Here she is 13, and they wrapped her and wrapped all of the enslaved people at the Jackson auction block and brought her to Archer, Florida.
Wow.
Because of her, I am.
Yes.
Okay, and I appreciate the two most things she wanted to do: learn to read and vote. She never learned to read. So every time I vote, I tell her, "This is for you, Grandma." She lived 100 years to be 100 years. Died in 1926. She was able to witness. Her niece was the Rosewood school teacher.
Yes.
And she was age 97 when Rosewood happened in 1923. And she was able to pray for her. My mom said, Grandma Julianne walked the floor all night long praying for her granddaughter.
Wow.
Yes, and I love to bring that in and tell that story because knowing where we have come from, Mom saying, you must keep this story alive. It's history.
Yes.
It's who we are.
Yes.
Without history, we're nothing.
Yes.
It was hard, tough, difficult, but we survived. We made it.
And we are continuing to tell those stories to our students. We have a summer program that meets in July every Friday. And so it's been really amazing to watch 25 to 30 students come on a Friday morning from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and sit with us and learn these stories and learn the importance of education, both formal and other skill sets, things, not looking at all those things as being beautiful and beautiful gifts. And so we spend a good deal of our time just reviewing statistics and things we want them to know to be prepared as they enter into this next phase of life for them. And so thank you for sharing your story so freely and openly because we continue to tell and share those stories with our students.
You're welcome, but it's not my story. It's our story.
Our story.
And the next generation, look, I'm old. I'm not going to be around. Who is going to carry the history on to the next? Our kids. We've got to train them.
Yes.
They are the new historians. Yes, to keep our history alive. Our history is very important. And I tell people it's not Black history. It's America's history. It's our history. We were just there, okay? We were just there when it started, if not before. I don't want to get into that, but I'm proud of it. I didn't want to tell the story because it was so painful when my mom said, you must keep this, her sister was a teacher, you must keep sister's story alive. I said, Mom, and once she told it to me, the first time, age 5, I'm not going to go there today, but once she told it to me, after I got older, we started talking about it, and when it became known by other people, I've known it, she's known it all of her life, then we went to the newspaper in 1993, and she wanted me to remember it. She said, you can't forget it. I said, Mom, it's too painful. It's hard. It's hard history. She said, if Mom was younger, Mom would tell it. I wanted to say, and you tell it. So it has not been easy. It's still not easy.
Yes.
When I go home today, what am I going to do? Get in bed, decompress.
Yes.
I wear it with me. But I appreciate people like you calling and say, hey, Liz, can we come on your podcast and talk about our program? And I always add the Rosewood history because that's important too. And I want you to take it back and let your team know if there's anything I can do or say, here I am. Because I want them to be able to keep this history alive. We're building a museum in 2025 or 2026. It should be completed by 2026. Who do I want to see there? Your students.
Yes, ma'am.
You.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just get involved and, hey, Liz, I can do this. Whatever you can do or want to do, you got it. Yeah. Okay, it's in Archer. It's not that far. I travel to Gainesville. I tell people every day, sometimes twice a day. If my agenda necessity, if it calls me, I'll come back. It's all about children.
Yes.
Yes.
We want to thank you again for inviting and having Education Equalizer Foundation here. Your contributions and your sacrifices and our ancestral sacrifices have not gone to waste. We are excited about the future and about where our youth are going and their interest and willingness to push forward, to carry those lessons and those hard-learned, hard-earned lessons with them and keeping them close to themselves. We constantly encourage them to identify folks within the community that they can walk alongside. The guidance, that's what we need, right? I love spending time with my grandmother in the kitchen or picking peaches and working in her garden. And having those opportunities to hear from her lived experiences. And then our hour, because they become ours, like you said, we take those on to ourselves. And so we are really thankful for you to invite us here and have us here and to continue to doing this great work in which you're doing.
Well, you're welcome, and I'm going to really invite you all to my birthday celebration, which is October 23rd, here in the Visa rooftop. And it's going to be a fundraiser for Rosewood, and I want to see you all lovely faces here participating. We're going to enjoy ourselves. I don't know the time it starts, maybe 5-ish until 10-ish, but it will be, well, you'll be welcome.
Thank you so much.
I almost said, well, welcome, but you are welcome to participate. Okay, it's about time for our first half. We are going to head to a quick break, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, two things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
I am Black History.
I am Rosewood Black History.
I am Florida
and America's Black History, and you are too.
January 1st, 1923, the KKK insurrectionists attacked Rosewood, killing 5, burning it down.
Because a white woman lied and cried, a black man assaulted me. Rosewood redevelopment is on its way.
Want to help? Visit rosewoodflorida.com.
Welcome back to Queen Lizzie Podcast, brought to you weekly from the Steve Spurrier Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We are here with Porshe Chiles. The Queen Lizzie Podcast is brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union, live from the Meldon Law Gator Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Thank you very much. Speaking of Spurrier Gridiron Grill, I want y'all to know that each weekend, on the weekends, there is they serve a brunch from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So please come out and patronize them because they are very generous. They allow me to do my podcast here, and I am very appreciative, very, very appreciative. And I want to remind you about my upcoming birthday. It's going to be a hot. I'm going to have fun. We are going to have fun. Dancing, whatever. It's a birthday fundraising party celebration. So you've got to be here. We're working on a flyer as we speak, and we're going to get it out to everyone so that we can raise funds for what? To help build our museum in Archer. We're going to build a Rosewood Museum in Archer. The name of it, Mahulda Gussie Brown Carrier Cultural Museum. We are going to make provisions for the kids to come out. We're going to have a petting zoo, field trips by school kids and adult nonprofit organizations. You're welcome. And hopefully we will be able to build about 10 shotgun houses because they had shotgun houses in Rosewood, and we want to keep that history alive. It's going to be a really shotgun house, small, compartmentalized, so that if you want to spend the weekend, hopefully you will spend the weekend with also going to build a church because there was a church in Rosewood. I already have the name for the church, okay? Looking for a preacher. I'm kidding. But the church, the name of the church that I have named it, I'm not going to tell you. Somebody might steal my idea. But a school, we will probably build a school. Now, these are not going to be big schools, just a memory, just the resurrection of the town of Rosewood. And we're going to build the John Wright's house, okay? Like I say, it's just what? I can't think of the word, but it's going to be a house that looks like his house.
A recreation.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Recreation. That's why I asked you to be on the show. So you can help me remember. And I'm thinking that's all I was going to say, but please go to rosewoodflorida.com, Rosewood, FLORIDA.com, make a donation for the museum, to help us build the museum, and for the scholarship. We do have a Rosewood scholarship wherein we give 5 scholarships each year to children from children from Levy and Alachua County, because it happened in Levy County, and most of the descendants and survivors relocated to Alachua County. We give scholarships 5, but it is to black or white kids. Okay, so please apply. The deadline is April 1 to apply. That's next year. It's on my website, rosewoodfloridaagain.com. So please apply for the scholarship. Okay. Anything else you would like to add or say about scholarship? Because you all just finished a big scholarship drive.
Scholarship drive. Yes, we have something called the $1 Million Scholar, and that is where we want any student that we work with that goes through our summer program to raise or at least $1 million in scholarship funds. And we have been able to reach that goal for the past 2 years. And so our scholars have culminated or got a total of $1 million in scholarships to schools both here in Florida and outside of Florida. And so we recognize that the cost of attendance for school can be sometimes a scary thing to face. And so we want to help our students and our parents with that. Now, there's work. You have to put in the work. Like Ms. Lizzie is saying right now, Queen Lizzie, you have to apply for a scholarship.
Yes.
You have to apply for the scholarships. We will help you identify and apply for those scholarships when they want to.
What's the address?
So, yes, so you can find Education Equalizer Foundation. That's the website. It's a mouthful, but the Education Equalizer Foundation. We're also on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook. You can look at the with the @ symbol, EEF, or Education Equalizer Foundation. You'll be able to find us there. Our founder, Dr. Carjamin Scott, she is heavily hands-on. She answers all the emails. We take phone calls. We have online sessions, in-person sessions. If you'd like for us to come to your church or your organization or school, please let us know. We will be more than happy to come out there. We've done presentations at local higher education conferences here, and as well as working with FAFSA locally to make sure that students are understanding the FAFSA and its deadlines, so they can get and apply for those scholarships for school.
Exactly. And they just had their event, your culminating event.
Yes, we were so happy to see you there.
I gave a scholarship from
You
Rosewood.
did.
It was only $500, but it was from our heart.
Only books are expensive. That $500 goes a long way. Yes, it was an amazing event. We were so happy and thrilled to have you there. We were celebrating our scholars who finished. They graduated, so congratulations to all those scholars that graduated. Any student that graduated in 2024. And as you are doing the next things, we are just sending you all the love and support there. But our scholars were able to show themselves, to introduce themselves, what they were doing, and also talk about their experiences working with us at the Education Equalizer Foundation.
Thank you. I appreciate the invitation. I'm glad it was not booked that particular Saturday. I was there. I enjoyed it. The breakfast was delicious.
It was delicious. It was delicious.
Save the best for last. The breakfast was delicious.
You have to feed people.
I know. That's an invitation to get them out. Yes, you have to. And I'm looking forward for next year.
Yes.
To next year. You don't have any idea when or where, but anyway, just let me.
We sure you have a standing invitation.
I appreciate that.
Yes, and we love to see the community come out because it really is encouraging with folks from the community, whether you know the students or not, come out and just encourage them. It is difficult to go to school. It's difficult to learn anything new, especially in new environments. And so anytime the community has an opportunity to come out and encourage and love on our students, we want to encourage that. So come on out, folks, when we have the next one. You can find it on the website and our social media accounts.
Yes, and we have other nonprofit organizations. My niece has a foundation. Oh God, what's the name of it? Rose. She's going to kill me. Her name is Ashley McClellan Robinson, Rosewood Creek. What is the name of her? It will come to me. But anyway. There, Rosewood with a Purpose. There are many are out there. You all look them up. Each organization needs support.
Yes.
Each of us needs support. So please come out and help us, research us, and contribute your time, if not your money, because it takes all of us working together to make it better. And that's who we are, workers. We may not have the most money, but we got lots of energy. And the church is also very supportive. Yes. And all of us belong to different churches, so we are a network. We are a village, okay?
Yeah.
And
Dr. Scott always says your network is your net worth. And so how you're connecting, we really encourage students to get out of their comfort zones and meet community members and leaders, because the folks you know, if they know you, they can vouch for you. They will write you letters of recommendation. They'll invite you to have an internship or even shadowing, right?
Exactly.
You may never know what you're interested in unless you see someone else do it first. And so we've heard stories of students, you know, just because they were in the community, getting to know some of our local leaders like Queen Lizzie here, getting to know those folks, and they're able to find and forge relationships and internships. And now those folks are looking at law school and medical school. Dr. Scott always says your network is your net worth. And so we want folks to get out there and network and meet other folks.
I like that. And by the way, I did think of my niece's foundation, Concrete Rose. Yes, she is doing an excellent job. And I did give you a shout out, Ashley. Ashley McClellan Robinson. Yes. And there are others. And next time I hadn't thought of it, just came to me today, but next time I will share other organizations, and I'm going to try to be able to give you their contact information also, because it's not all about Rosewood. It's about all of our foundations working together.
Collectively.
Yes, ma'am. Right. And collaboratively. Yes. Helping each other. Yes, that's who we are.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. And we do it well. And this platform, Queen Lizzie Podcast, has been excellent. I'm thinking this is my number. I started last year, January, and this is number 72 or 73.
Wow.
Shows.
You're busy.
I am busy. I enjoy it. I really do, helping, get the message out to the community.
Yes.
Anything else closing remarks?
Follow the podcast, right? You find out all local information when you get tapped into local folks doing the work. And so find the podcast, find our organization, tap in, come out, engage with us. I think a lot was lost over the past few years. So people getting used to coming back out and going to events. We want to celebrate all the things, especially Queen Lizzie's birthday coming up. So come out and be a part of the fundraiser. I've been to Rosewood. I've heard the transformational stories. I remember watching the movie many moons ago and then reading about those as a child. So we are really, again, thankful to be here with you, to sit here with you, living history, our history. Yes. And so come on out and support.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And we'll be looking forward to you, okay, for coming out. Thank you. I am continuously humbled, honored, and blessed to meet people daily and invite them to join in peace building, healing, and reconciliation through learning about the history of Rosewood. That will wrap up today's episode. I am Queen Lizzie. Until next time, this is my Rosewood story, and I'm sticking to it. Goodbye.